Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. We hope you had a nice weekend, and I'm Linda Karnauskas, and we want to thank you for joining us on this Monday, June 6th. We have an informative show for you today. First, we'll be heading down on location at the Farmamerica, and we'll be talking with the executive director there, Roger Steinkamp. And then later on in the show, we'll be visiting here in the studio with our state representative, John Petersburg. To all our Owatonna viewers, we want to welcome your suggestions and show ideas for guest topics or shows that you'd like to see here on the air. You can do so by emailing us at owatonnatoday@charter.net or by contacting our show's producer, Leanne Alt, at 390-5751. We will take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll see you down on location at Farmamerica, so please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself.
Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now, I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And we're on location today at Farmamerica. We're going to be featuring things to do close to home during the summer months. And today we're beginning on this beautiful spring day here at Farmamerica, and we're talking with Roger Steinkamp. Hi, Roger.
Hello.
You're the executive director, so you have a huge responsibility here.
Well, it's a big responsibility, but you know, what we're trying to do is just show the evolution of agriculture from the 1800s on to today.
Would you tell just a little bit about yourself? How long have you been executive director, and what have some of the challenges been?
Well, I tell you, I've been here for about a year and a half, and one of the challenges has been we've inherited, some new ground, and we're telling the story of modern agriculture better than ever. And getting, revising the program to bring that into focus is probably the biggest challenge.
So you're taking it on a timeline sort of thing from early on till into the future?
Correct. For example, today we'll get a good idea of what it was like farming and planting corn in 1800 and in 1930, and then we'll end up looking at a modern day precision planter.
What has the history of Farmamerica been?
Well, Farmamerica started right about 1978, kind of right after the bicentennial. And what we're trying to do is, show agriculture, how it evolved over the last century and a half now, and in Minnesota.
And we're standing on an 1850s homestead farm.
Right.
And what would someone coming out here see quickly, if you could relate that?
Well, what you see is a complete farmstead. We have 3 farmsteads here, but what you see here is a log cabin, a barn, we have a smokehouse, and over there is a root cellar, you could call it, or a dugout, where you'd store stuff. And so what we do is we farm 1850 style in and around this area.
Okay.
And so you can actually kind of live the life for a few minutes.
All right. And then also here we're standing near an 1850s garden, correct?
Correct.
And was that done any specific way at all?
Well, what we do is we have an 1850 garden and a 1930 garden, and we grow the crops that they would have been probably eating and growing at that time.
Okay, so this is something a family would see if they came out for the day just walking the trail.
Right, if you come around, walk the trail, and you'll see us farming. Right over behind us over there is we have the heritage garden, where we have a lot of heritage seeds that I think would be very interesting. And if you come out here, pick some vegetables and eat them.
Can we see, I understand there's some horses that are plowing some fields right now. Can we go see that technique?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
It's a period.
Roger, we've relocated here where they're planting by horses. Would you tell us what we're seeing here and what years that includes?
Okay, what we have over here, we got a team of Belgians that's on a 2-row corn planter, 40-inch rows, and it has the ability to check plant whatever, in anyway, put that in. And over here, a team of mules, or this team of mules is on a cultivator. And so you could work up the field, go out and plant it, and there you go, you got the corn in. It's a whole lot easier than planting by hand. And we're kind of halfway there. Late 1800s, early 1900s, this would be fairly typical to see.
This would be, and how much would these horses back in the day actually till and plant?
Well, they tell me they could do up to 10 acres, but I've been out planting and I'm lucky if I get 1 or 2 acres done.
Now, you stated we were going to go see some other corn being planted.
Yes, if we just move right over here, we'll fast forward up to about 1930, 1940.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, Roger, we've relocated. What era are we seeing here in the tractors?
These check planters were actually being used in the late 1800s up through probably around the 1950s. And what it does is it plants 2 rows of corn exactly 40 inches apart, and you can cultivate in 2 directions. That was our first response to controlling weeds.
Now I see that wire. Is that like a guideline?
Yes, and what that is, that has a knot every 40 inches. And every 40 inches it clicks, it drops 2 seeds. And so when you're done, when he gets to the end, he'll have to move the wire. And that's the way my dad did that. And it's pretty arduous.
So he has to move the wire and then turn the tractor around and then come back, correct?
Yep, turn the tractor around, hook it up and drive back, stop, move the wire, go back. And so it takes quite a while. When we were check planting the other day, it took 2 of us like 6 hours.
And then this John Deere over here, what's different with this tractor versus what he's riding right now?
Well, you can imagine we're breeding corn that can go to higher populations, and so probably the next evolution in the corn planting industry is going from a 2-row to a 4-row. We went to 6-row, 8-row. Now we're up to 16, 28-row planters, and the density of the corn is getting a lot greater. So we're going from 40 bushel corn that we saw, like is being planted with this 40-inch row, up to 200 bushel plus corn today, maybe 300 bushel in the future. And all that technology, it goes hand in hand with plant breeding. A lot of these plants we can plant this way because of the technology.
And then does this one have a guide wire or anything, or it just goes on its own, the John Deere over here?
The John Deere, when we get into that type of planting, the space within the row is only like 5 inches, whereas here it's like 40 inches between hills of corn. So it's a completely different concept of planting. And when we go across the road, you'll see where we're at today with a 16-row planter, putting in even higher populations.
So we're on to modern day. Is that where we're going next?
That's where we're going.
Great. Roger, we have relocated to present-day farming. Would you explain what we're seeing over here in the way of machinery and?
Right. Well, what we have is 240 acres surrounding the farm now, and this is what I alluded to earlier. And what we're putting in here is South Central University is putting in seed trials for soybeans, and they got a precision planter that can place the seed exactly at the depth you want. And also the tractor's on GPS plus or minus 1 inch, and so you can imagine the precision we can get in agriculture. And when you look at it throughout the year, they're going to be putting on exactly what these plants need when they need it, as opposed to broadcasting fertilizer and pesticide over the entire field. So it's really amazing what we can do today.
Now, is that computerized in the cockpit there?
Totally.
Of the tractor?
They have field maps downloaded, and there are planters. In fact, this one can put on 2 different seeds, and depending on the soil type and the needs of the field. And so they can switch, they can vary the application of fertilizer, pesticide, everything, depending on the feed map. And when you look in the cockpit, it looks like a computer.
So where are we going next?
Well, we're going to go back to the farmyard, and I'll show you a couple animals,
All right.
and that'll be good.
Sounds like fun. Roger, we've located here on the Homestead Barnyard, and so what are we seeing here?
Well, we're at the 1930 farmstead, and around here you're going to see animals that they typically had at the beginning of the last century, whether it's with the chickens, the Australorps and Wyandottes that kind of give the colored eggs. And we also have
those up like that. Yeah.
And we have the white ones are coming from the Leghorns, which is the recent breed that you can kind of get an egg a day, and it's a chicken. That chicken is a real egg factory. And we have the same thing with the hogs. We have a guinea hog that was raised by Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and along with the modern day feeder pig. So there's a variety of animals here. You've seen the calf, and we have 2 goats that are going to be milking, so it's a fun place.
There's so much here that we couldn't get on camera, so people need to bring their families out on the weekend and just experience this. Could you please give your hours of operation and what the costs are?
Yeah, we're open, weekends we're open from 10 o'clock until sundown, and that includes Fridays, and during the week, Tuesday through Friday, come out in the afternoon and we'll be here. So you're more than welcome, and it'll cost you $5 admission fee, or you can become a member for $25 and have free admission all year. And for families, it's just double that.
And they can bring a picnic?
Absolutely. We have picnic tables throughout the grounds. Come out here, have a picnic, enjoy the farm with your family, walk around, enjoy the animals, and we'll be farming every weekend, so join in.
And there's a website people can check for what's going on?
Absolutely. Just go to farmamerica.org or follow us on Facebook for the current what's happening today.
Thank you, Roger. We've really enjoyed it here, and I hope everyone comes out to see what wonderful things you're doing here.
Thank you so much for coming.
We will take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back, so please stay with us.
Hi, Eric here from Owatonna Senior Place. Participate in one of the many active fitness classes we have, or hop on the bus for one of our great day trips. We have a variety of programs and activities happening throughout the week. Our goal at Senior Place is to create positive moments for you at a reasonable and affordable price. Don't forget the Senior Place Partnership Program, with over 40 businesses giving discounts and incentives to you for being a Senior Place member. Contact us for more details. Live full, live well, live long.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
I'm Deb Gillard with Brookdale Owatonna. We bring new life to senior living in our Alzheimer's and dementia care and our assisted living care communities. Brookdale Owatonna is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
At Triumph Graphics, we think beyond ink. That's why you should make us your source for creative concept, design, print, mail, and web. Check us out today at triumphgraphics.com.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and we hope you enjoyed Farmamerica. We're here in the studio, and we're talking with our state representative, John Petersburg. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to be back to Owatonna area and getting back to work and getting back to almost a regular life compared to the hectic issues up at the Capitol.
Capitol and everywhere else. Busy time in politics here, close to home and on the national level.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, there's a presidential election this year too, so there's a lot more buzz going on and a lot more activity.
So you've been busy down at the legislative area, and would like to talk with you about some of the things going on there. What is going on exactly with the bonding bills right now?
Well, that's kind of an interesting thing. That's probably the one that's on top of most people's mind. As you know, the last few days, actually about the last week and a half or so of session, is always kind of a hectic time. It's we have, generally speaking, a lot of large bills that have to be put together. They have to be negotiated, and they all have to fit together because we have to pass a balanced budget. And I like to tell people it's kind of like putting together a Rubik's Cube. Until you make the last twist, nothing falls into place. And then the last twist comes, and then everything kind of falls into place. And so it seems kind of messy to a lot of people, but those deadlines are important for us to start make sure that we have the negotiations done properly and we have a balanced budget. The bonding bill, we thought we had an agreement with all parties involved, both the DFL and Republicans on the House side and the Senate side. And so it drug on later than we would have liked going into the night before we got sent over to the Senate. The Senate, one of the senators, which they certainly have an opportunity to do so, unfortunately added an amendment onto the bill which no longer made it compatible with the House version. But they did that at a time in which it was not enough time to get back to the House for any kind of correction or changes, and so the bonding bill died because we didn't get it passed. As you know, midnight Sunday night was the last time we could do any official business. So we're still hoping that the governor will call a special session for us to be able to address it. It passed with exactly half of the DFL House as well. It was probably one of the best bonding bills with the most number of supporters of anyone that I've seen.
What were some of the things contained in that bill?
Well, some of it was, there was about $200 million worth of projects for the University of Minnesota and MnSCU. There was dollars in there for St. Peter, which the hospital there that really needed to be done. And then we also did something, we added almost $700 million worth of transportation projects in that bill as well. Part of it was as we were unable to come together with a conference bill on transportation, there was $300 million left over of the budget reserve, or I should say surplus, that we could use. And so I sat in a room with two of the Transportation Committee staff, a leadership staff, and a reviser that was going to write the bill. And we put together a proposal that put those $300 million leftovers to projects in greater Minnesota. So we decided to make sure it fit DFL categories and Republican districts and metro, even townships and small cities were getting some additional dollars that they hadn't have. And it was a great bill and everybody really liked it. Unfortunately, we got hung up in a snafu and we're trying to get that corrected.
You see that correcting?
Well, I think so. The governor is the only one that can make that call as to the special session. I think he will because I know he wants some of the money for the University of Minnesota and St. Peter. So I think he will. But he's also working at deciding whether or not to sign the tax bill, which he has until today, Monday, this evening, in order to sign. Otherwise, it'll be a pocket veto, and those tax implications are also disappear. So, and that particular bill passed with all but 10 votes in the House and all but 12 votes in the Senate. So it's a very bipartisan bill, one that we all really want to get passed. So we hope that he will sign that and call us back for a special session.
Okay, and that can only be done, that can only be rectified through a special session?
The bonding bill can be, yes. Otherwise it doesn't, we just don't have a bill. And so the money just doesn't get spent.
You've been busy in some other areas too, introducing some legislature. Why don't you share with us about the youth bill? Tell us what's going on there.
Yes, I have quite a few other small bills that were included in omnibus bills, the transportation bill, tax bill, a few other things around here too. But the one that was the most fun to work with was ones that was originated by the sixth graders at Willow Creek School here in Owatonna. And it was a petition that was given to me. It was 70 pages, about 700 signatures, asking for a bill to really, actually it was added to a bill to put a memorial plaque up at the Capitol memorializing the people who built the Capitol back in the late 1800s, as well as the 6 people who died. Basically, it started when one of the classes, Jennifer Hansen's class, decided to, instead of going up to the Capitol because the Capitol is under construction, they decided to research the Capitol and figure out more about it. And one of the students said, is there a plaque for those people that built it? They found out that there are 300 people that actually built the Capitol, and actually 6 of them that died during construction. And when they said there wasn't any, she says, well, why not? And shouldn't we do something about it? So they generated the petition, and they got the petition signed and everything, presented it to me. I know they talked to Senator Jensen as well as the governor also. And I came down to talk to them. And I said, well, what would you like the plaque to be? And they said, well, we don't know for sure. I said, well, how about if we have a contest for all sixth graders throughout the state? And they said, oh, that's a great idea. So the bill as it currently is, and it was signed in the supplemental finance bill, says that the Commissioner of Administration shall put together a plaque in the Capitol and that they will hold a contest for all sixth graders throughout the state and have it placed during construction time. This gives an opportunity for all sixth graders to not only hear about the way in which a bill is made, but also to learn more about the Capitol itself. And I think it was a great project, and I hope the kids get to do that. We're trying to work out a commemorative signing for the kids to come up and be with the governor when he does that. We don't know if that's going to occur yet, but we're still working on that, and hopefully that'll be a good thing.
So I could tell you're very proud about that, and happy that the youth of today are taking an interest.
Yes, well, exactly. I'm happy for them because they get to actually see how legislation is made and to know what's going on in the Capitol, which I think is important for all of us to know our civic duties, responsibilities, and to really know what's going on up at the Capitol.
Right, and we all learn about different things in the way the government is mapped out, but it does get confusing when you're listening to the news or whatever and they're talking about different areas of government. It is confusing, so it's good to learn at that level, I would think.
Correct, yes, it certainly is. It's legislation can be kind of complex. It can certainly have a lot of work to it, and some bills get introduced every biennium for 2 or 3 bienniums before they actually get worked out. Some bills never do make it into law. And so it's important for all of us to understand that this is a complex issue, and we have 201 senators and representatives that have to talk and debate and vote on the bill before it becomes law.
Is there any other legislation that you've introduced that you'd like to share at this time? Or?
There was also a one locally. I mean, I'll talk to you about the local ones that I had here. There is an electric plant coming in town here being built, and we're trying to get an exemption on property taxes so that we can keep the rates lower for locals as well. Unfortunately, that's in the tax bill, and so if the tax bill doesn't get passed, I'm not sure where it's at. We had quite a few transportation bills. Obviously, the transportation bill that I had in the bonding bill would have put $45 million into Highway 14 locally and $40 million in Highway 14 over by New Ulm. That was a very big disappointment that didn't get added to that, didn't get passed in the bonding bill, but we hope that it will still be there. That would allow us to finish all of the right-of-way purchase on our side and actually, I think, build the next section as well. We have to see how that one goes, but that was also a big one for this particular area. So I appreciate the support that I had in those areas, and we'll keep working on them as well.
Did you want to shed any light on the special ID or the real ID situation and where that stands?
Yes, I certainly can do that. A real ID is a situation where the federal government, Homeland Security, has required basically a federal ID in which all of the states have to comply with certain issues and direction and policies in issuing driver's license so they can be used federally as well. And one of the snags that we ran into was first whether or not it should be only one license or if it should be a two-tier, or in other words, 2 options. You can either go for the real ID or to stay with the old Minnesota one. That's the one that we've kind of started going down the path with, both versions. And then we got really hung up into rulemaking in which the Department of Public Safety would like to have full authority to make whatever rules they wanted to in regards to how it's issued, who qualifies for the driver's license, etc. And that was a real big issue. The Senate and the House are still working on that. As you know, for flying, we still have until October of 2018, we still can use our regular driver's license to fly, so that's not of a concern. The concern, of course, would be if we have people need to go to military bases or other federal programs, they'll need to have a passport or some other form that's acceptable. But we're working on that. We believe that we'll get that resolved next year and in time for the deadline of October 18.
Well, thank you so much for updating us on all that's going on and for your work in the legislative area, and we appreciate all you do.
Well, thank you so much. It's always nice to be back here and chatting with you.
Okay, we'll see you again soon.
Yes, absolutely.
We will take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back, so please stay with us.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to Transitional Housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Rich from Sign Pro and Auto Trim Design, a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. Come and see us for all your sign and truck accessory needs.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. Nice visit with John Petersburg. We are now into the community announcements. The Owatonna Foundation is pleased to make available $19,000 to assist students who will be attending non-four-year programs at technical/community colleges to prepare themselves for technical careers. Applications for non-traditional scholarships are due June 25th. Eligibility requirements include that recipients have an Owatonna mailing address or have worked at an Owatonna business for at least the past 2 years. You must also hold a GED or graduated from high school prior to or with the class of 2015. Scholarship awards range from $500 to $3,000 each. And for more information about the Owatonna Foundation or scholarships, please visit their website at www.owatonnafoundation.org or call the office at 455-2995. And the Owatonna Foundation is pleased to announce a new scholarship opportunity for women, funded by June A. and Melanie Nelson. The scholarship is for women of diversity or single mothers who wish to return to school and pursue a technical or two-year college program. Scholarship criteria and applications are available on the Foundation's website or from Foundation Scholarship Coordinator Jill Holmes. If you have questions, please contact Jill Holmes at 455-3059. The deadline for applications is June 25th, 2016. And then Wine Women in Golf. Brooktree presents Wine Women in Golf for the very beginner or non-golfer Tuesday, June 7th. It's National Women's Golf Day and the fee is $10. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we hope you'll tune in on Wednesday when we'll get an update from the Owatonna Police Department, and we'll be visiting with the folks from Open Arms Yellow Ribbon. So join us on Wednesday. Until then, have a great day.